Nerdy Scores, a film podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nerdy Scores, a film podcast. My name is Bryan Suffield. I'm your host. This is episode 76, and I'm joined by my co-host, Matt Lobner.
Me? How? I'm flabbergasted, Bryan. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're here, and it's hot as fuck, and I'm 19 now because, you get old.
Yeah, it's Matt's birthday was yesterday as we speak.
And everyone was working.
Yeah, we all have jobs. We're sorry.
Which I understand. But still, the viewers must know that.
Okay, Matt, whatever you say. So on this week's episode, we are going to be reviewing Cars 3 and The Book of Henry. And then we're going to talk about some news stories, trailers, some Blu-ray releases, and then we're going to review the movies, and then give our box office results for the weekend. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. My father, my grandfather, his grandfather.
And the
uncles.
double fathers, and any, two fathers out there, in those types of relationships. What? There's two fathers, sometimes.
I thought you were going to do your cough.
There you go.
Okay, whatever. Alright, guys, so let's jump right into the news. The first piece of news is that Mr. Danny Elfman,
The Elfman.
An incredible composer of many iconic movies, such as Tim Burton's Batman movies. He's composed a lot of Tim Burton movies, many other stuff as well. He is the guy that is now composing Justice League over Junkie XL, who was originally supposed to be the composer, but he has stepped out, and now Danny Elfman's the guy composing. Now, this is cool, because it's going to showcase that the movie's going to have probably a fun, cartoony vibe, but also being dark at the same time. Danny Elfman's a great composer, and, for people who don't know, he's the guy behind the Simpsons theme as well. So, he's a really talented, versatile composer, and him coming back to a superhero movie to compose a score, especially with Justice League, that's pretty awesome. I gotta commend that because I'm really excited to see what he's gonna do with the Justice League score.
Yeah, because Junkie XL is a pretty good composer. I mean, he did Mad Max, he did Deadpool. And they were both really well-scored movies. So I'm kind of interested to see what Danny Elfman's gonna do, how he's gonna fit the tone of the movie. Because, again, with the whole Joss Whedon thing, I wonder if it was Joss Whedon that made the decision, kind of, for this. Maybe, again, because he wants to inject more comedy into the movie, so it makes it more fun than dark, which all the other DC movies have been mostly, aside from Wonder Woman. So, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we just got to find out when we see the movie or see maybe a new trailer, if they do release a new trailer before the movie comes out with his music. But for now, we just gotta wait and see till the movie comes out to really judge how Danny Elfman's gonna affect it heavily in the tone of the movie itself. So yeah.
The next piece of news is that we have a cast member coming back to the Mission Impossible franchise in Michelle Monaghan. Now, if you guys remember, she played Ethan Hunt's wife in MI3. She got killed, and then she was brought back in the last scene in Ghost Protocol. She wasn't in Rogue Nation, but she's going to be in Mission Impossible 6, which is currently filming as we speak. I love Michelle Monaghan. I think she's a pretty overlooked talent. I liked her in MI3. I think it's cool that they're bringing her back. It's kind of obvious at this point. It's going to be interesting because when we watch the movie, who's going to be the hotter chick? Are we going to love her more, or are we going to love Rebecca Ferguson more? I'm just really excited for the movie. I really loved Rogue Nation. I thought it was fantastic. I always loved Tom Cruise, even though last week I wasn't really a fan of The Mummy. Vin Rames has come back. Simon Pegg's coming back. I'm really excited for MI6, and Michelle Monaghan coming back is not a surprise whatsoever.
I mean, most of the cast crew's coming back from MI5, so we are all going to be excited about that.
6. This is 6. You said MI5.
I said coming back from MI5, I said.
Oh.
Yeah, most of the same cast crew, which is good.
Yes.
And if they're bringing back Michelle Monaghan, which I didn't watch all of MI3. I know that's a pretty good Mission Impossible movie, but I guess it's cool that they are bringing her back, but I'm wondering in what capacity is she going to be in the movie?
According to news, she's pivotal.
Wow. Okay. I mean, she's pivotal, and she's... Alright, I'm interested then. I want to see what they're going to do with that. Is she going to actually, be part of the team? I wonder.
I would think... It's not gonna. I hope it's not a Fast and Furious thing where she's brainwashed into the other team.
It's just like Fast and Furious 8, man. I don't think it's gonna be like that.
Not Fast and Furious 8. I said Fast and Furious 6.
Oh,
where Letty was working for.
Oh, that. Well, then again, they're gonna,
for Shaw,
again,
you idiot.
Both of them, and both of them, good people work for the wrong side for different reasons. All right, there you go. The only reason she was working for Shaw. Well, technically, she was working for. Well, never mind. It's getting into spoiler territory. It's getting into spoiler territory. Forget about it, eh?
Alright, don't be a goofball.
I was gonna say, technically she's not working for Shaw, she's working for... Yeah, but, then I'll be spoiling Fast and Furious 8. So I'm not gonna do that.
You didn't tell me you were done.
I mean, I can't really talk about it because I didn't see her.
I didn't know you were done.
I mean, the only thing I can say is that she's a good actress. That's it, basically.
That's
what happens when you mix a guy who knows movies and a guy who just acts like an idiot. There you go. You get this podcast, so you're welcome.
Stop being an idiot, you motherfucker! And the last piece of news, the X-Men Dark Phoenix cast and crew has been revealed. It is officially confirmed that Simon Kinberg will be writing and directing it. The cast includes the same people come back from Apocalypse. We have Mr. James McAvoy come back, Mr. Michael Fassey come back, Jennifer Lawrence coming back, Nicholas Hoult come back, Ty Sheridan, Alexander Shipp, Sophie Turner, Cody Smith McPhee. I believe did I say Nicholas Hoult because he's coming back too. Yes. And the person that's in talks to play the villain, potentially the frontrunner, is my wonderful wife, Jessica Chastain. And, very cool. I don't know who she's playing. I love Jessica Chastain, so her playing the villain, hopefully it's not bad, because the last time she played the villain of sorts, I wasn't really a fan of it, i.e. Crimson Peak. Obviously I'm excited because, X-Men, I liked Apocalypse, all the other ones are great. We're getting 3 X-Men movies next year. We got New Mutants, then Deadpool 2, and then this. So, yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's clearly obvious that all these people will come back from the beginning. I'm curious to know what they're going to do with the storyline, but I'm really excited in the end for sure. But the thing that surprised is that they said that Evan Peters, they didn't say his name on the cast list, so I don't know if he's coming back as Quicksilver. Who the hell knows? We'll have to see until the movie comes out.
Oh, but I like Evan Peters as Quicksilver. Damn it. It's going to be hard to watch any X-Men movie after Logan. It really is. I'm being serious, it really is.
Okay, but I just don't know why you have to...
I have to say it because it's true.
Alright, but do you have to laugh every time you say something?
Physical comedy, folks! Yeah, Apocalypse was good, and Sophie Turner was really good, though, as Phoenix in that movie, but I am...
Phoenix?
Well,
Jean Grey.
Jean Grey. Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, Green Grey. It's the same thing. If you don't know it's Dark Phoenix already, you haven't seen anything then.
Ow.
It's Phoenix, because she's basically Dark Phoenix. We know that already.
I forgot! I'm not a comic book geek. I don't remember some of these things. I'm sorry.
I
Jesus
just
Christ.
remember because of X-Men.
Go and hang me. I don't...
Kill yourself! No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, I just remember that because of X-Men Last Stand. That's mainly the main...
Okay, well, see, I don't remember that movie that well because it stinks.
That's where I heard the whole Dark Phoenix storyline. But I guess, again, it's a good crew because everyone was really good in Apocalypse, even though, again, critics shitted on it for some reason. I don't know why. Jessica Chastain. See, I'm really interested because since this is a Dark Phoenix movie, I'm kind of curious what's going to happen then. Because we know something bad's going to happen in this movie. With Sophie Turner's character, Jean Grey. And the throw Jessica Chastain, I don't know what they're trying to do. Is she going to be the one that kind of pushes her over the edge? Or is there going to be some kind of thing where they're working together? Or is she just going to lose and be her own separate entity entirely in the movie? I have no idea. But it does sound really good, the cast. And if Simon... we've seen Simon Kinberg produce these movies and kind of write, i.e. the ending of a certain movie we don't want to talk about because we mentioned it way too many times on the show. So I'm not completely sold on Simon Kinberg's writing ability. But then again, he was...
What are you talking about you're not sold on his writing? He wrote Days of Future Past.
Oh, he did?
Yes!
You're all cringing right now, probably.
You can't comment just because of fan forcing, which you're the one who's like, I thought it was very entertaining. It sucked, but it was entertaining.
I have to... Well, yes, I do find it entertaining, but I have to admit, it's not a good movie.
No shit, Sherlock.
We all have to... I can't turn away that it's not a good movie. And... I guess... I don't know. Whatever, I'm an idiot. Just alright, just move on. Alright, this is getting bad. Too much cringe.
You're doing this to yourself.
That's why I said too much cringe.
You're doing this to yourself. It's all on you, not on me.
Well, actually, we don't know his directing ability.
No, we don't. We'll see what happens. I'm sure Fox is confident in him. Mm-hmm. God damn it.
He's basically the producer of the X-Men universe.
Okay, now we go to the trailers. First trailer we're going to be talking about is for Home Again, starring Reese Witherspoon. Well, watching this trailer, I did not expect it to go down the direction it did. It looks cute, I guess. It looks nice. I like her a lot. I'll see it for her. It's directed by Nancy Meyers' kid. It looked like a Nancy Meyers movie, but it's directed by her kid, or I don't know, someone in her family. It does look like a generic romantic comedy of sorts with the cheesy heart in it, but I'm sure it's going to be nice and enjoyable and cute little fluff. I'm sure it's going to be fun. I love her a lot, so I'll see you just for her.
I don't know, like, the first and the second trailer felt different from each other.
Yeah.
Mainly because the introduction of a certain character.
Yeah.
In this trailer, which I didn't know this actor was in this movie.
I agree.
I don't know. Not my type of movie, but it looks good. A very romantic comedy, funny family drama stuff. So, whatever. It looks enjoyable for people who like that. I don't really go towards that stuff.
Alright. Jungle, starring Mr. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter himself. He goes on an expedition, and there's like action and drama and thriller in it, and it looks cool. I love Dan Radcliffe. You know, obviously I love Harry Potter, and I loved him in stuff outside of Harry Potter, like What If, Swiss Army Man. Haven't seen that movie where he plays a FBI agent disguised as a neo-Nazi, or undercover as a neo-Nazi. But, you know, he's talented. I'm interested in this movie just for him alone. It looked kind of generic to me. It looks kind of cliched. I feel like the trailer gave a lot away, but that's just my opinion. Just my opinion. And, yeah, I mean, I'll see it just for him alone. And, yeah, that's it.
I think it looks like a psychological horror movie. Of just a bunch of people being stranded in the jungle because they get lost. I mean, that's what literally the movie is, and it looks weird. From the way they cut it together, it just looks weird, and I mean, it looks good. Like the cinematography and all, it looks good. But the whole the I don't know how the story's gonna flow. I have no idea how the story's gonna flow in this movie because it's just very, I don't know how to describe it, you know what I'm saying, right? Like the way they cut it with certain weird like festival aspects, and them just kissing a woman, and then other shit is all going on while they're stuck in the jungle. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? Is he hallucinating? Or is this actually happening? Or what the hell's going on? It looks intriguing. I need to see more, but it looks weird.
I never mind. Sometimes the way you
want to
talk
comment
about other critics, it just bugs me.
What? Sound like another? What do I sound like?
No,
Stop, man.
forget. Yes.
Even though he probably hasn't seen that trailer.
All right, stop talking so quiet. I told you the fan's gonna be very loud, and I can't hear. Flatliners is the next trailer. Now, this is apparently a reboot sequel to some film from the 90s starring Kiefer Sutherland. Haven't seen it. Can't comment on it. This stars Ellen Page, and for people who don't know what this is about, basically, without spoiling too much, they basically kill themselves, and then they're brought back to life. And because of that, it leads to crazy stuff happening. I don't know. I mean, it looks... I'm going to be honest, and this is just my opinion, and don't argue with me on this when I give my opinion. I personally did not really like this trailer at all. I think it looks really stupid, and I like the plot, but I don't know, it just looks very generic and mediocre to me. I love Ellen Page a lot. I love her to death. Diego Luna is also here. Nina Dobrev is always here. Also here. Kiefer Sutherland's coming back, reprising his role. Well, like I said, haven't seen the source material. I'm sure it's really good. It was directed by Joel Schumacher, when Joel Schumacher was actually, a good filmmaker, but you know what? It is what it is. But I wasn't really a fan of this trailer. I thought the trailer, with the Jungle trailer, I said it might have given too much away. This trailer, I saw the entire movie. I saw everything, and I'm upset about that, because I like the people involved in the movie. And I don't know, just personally, from my perspective, I just wasn't really fond of this trailer. I just really am not really that excited for the movie, despite my love for Ellen Page.
Yeah, technically Flatliners the original did it first, but the plot is pretty similar to the Lazarus Effect, kind of. As in bringing people back to life, but it's not as, I guess, horror, but still creepy as hell. I don't know. I'm just trying.
Your honest opinion.
I'm trying to think of words to describe this. The idea is cool. All right, don't get me wrong. The ideas like that and Lazarus Effect, all that, they're cool ideas. But can they not make these horror movies, please?
Matt, come on. I saw your face. You were I saw you smiling during the trailer. Be honest, it's okay. I'm not gonna yell at you or anything.
I'm not saying... It's because I like the idea.
Okay, I'm not saying anything. I'm listening to your opinion.
Idea, but I don't know, it's just the execution. I'm like... Yeah, it seems pretty similar to those other types of movies. And it's probably gonna play out like that, which sucks. Because, you got a pretty solid cast. You got Kiefer coming back. And then, you also... Again, I know the plot of the original is, the same as this movie is, basically. But, I don't know, it's... You could do so much with that idea. I just don't know why they always gotta go to horror with it. It bugs me. It does.
So this is the guy who loves horror.
Yeah, but you have to agree with me. They always go to horror with these cool ideas.
Because that's the way for people to get people into it. That's the problem, man.
Mm-hmm. It sucks.
I feel like if I didn't know you that well or change your... I feel like you would say this movie looks great. Personally, that's just...
Plus, I'm afraid to say it looks great because I don't think it looks great personally, but I don't think it looks horrible, but it looks predictable. Alright?
Did you think that before I said that? Or no? Just be... you gotta be honest. That's... Honestly...
I can just be honest. I don't give a rat's ass, alright? There you go. I don't give a rat's ass how the movie what happens with it right now. I just like the idea. Okay?
Alright, don't have to yell. Jesus Christ.
Alright, if you ask for my true honest opinion, then I'll say that.
Alright. Detroit trailer number 2. Still looks great. What else can you say? The end. Still, it looks incredible.
Acting looks good. Story looks good. Characters look good. Everything looks good. Cinematography. Yeah, no complaints.
A trailer that I will complain about is Daddy's Home 2. Here's the thing. The first one was really not that good. I love Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg together. They really have good comedic chemistry, good charisma together, great camaraderie. I love them and the other guys. I like them working together in Daddy's Home, but Daddy's Home 2 should not exist. I'm sorry, if they wanted to make a sequel to some Will Ferrell comedy, why in the living fuck is it this one? Where's Step Brothers 2? Where's Talladega Nights 2? Where's Anchorman 3? What the fuck is this? I just don't need this. It still looks really stupid. As much as I think the casting of Mel Gibson as Mark Wahlberg's father and John Lithgow as Will Ferrell's father is absolutely brilliant, I'm just not looking forward to this movie. And that's just my opinion. I have to keep saying this and reiterating. This is just my opinion. It's my personal opinion. If you guys are looking forward to it, good for you. Congratulations. I'm happy for you. Me personally, I don't need a Daddy's Home 2. I think it was fine ending it where it ended. I don't need a Daddy's Home 2. It'll probably do very well. It's coming out around Thanksgiving. It'll do well. As much as I love the two guys, I just don't really care about this fucking movie, personally. So, Daddy's Home 2 can honestly just go away. I really don't care. And the trailer itself is not a badly edited trailer or anything. It's, I guess, a nicely sweet trailer. When John Lithgow comes in, it was actually kind of funny. But in all honesty, I wasn't really a fan of this. And it's sad because Mel Gibson is trying to make a comeback to Hollywood. Why would he choose this movie? Out of all the movies, why this one? But it is awesome that he's playing Mark Wahlberg's father. I think that's actually really smart casting. And those are my thoughts on the trailer for Daddy's Home 2.
I didn't even see the first one. No joke, I actually never seen the first one, and I never cared about watching the first one. I don't know, some funny lines, but for the most part, it's whatever. Nothing extraordinary or amazing. It's what you think it would be. About a comedy about two dads and other stuff. So, there you go.
That's it?
Yeah.
Nothing else?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing about the casting of the people? Nothing about...
Nope, because I don't care about the movie.
Then why were you laughing?
A couple funny lines, I said.
There's more. I see it. I know when you're lying. You want to say more. Go ahead. Say all you want to say.
Okay. Oh, yeah. John Lithgow looks funny. Just the way he's acting.
Alright, you don't have to look at me. Just look at the mic so that you can... the voice can echo. But don't yell, please. You're scaring away our audience.
It seems like Mel Gibson and John Lithgow are going to be really good together. But, I don't know. It's like you said, it's just, You know what I mean? It's like, Like, there's nothing special about this movie. It seems like every movie you've seen before. It looks like a little bit like the Fokker movies, for Christ's sake. And that's all I have to say about that. It just looks too similar to other movies.
I wouldn't entirely say... Well, yes, of course. Okay. Next trailer up. Goodbye, Christopher Robin. Bye, Felicia. Goodbye, Christopher Robin is going to be the story of how the Winnie the Pooh stories came to life. It stars Domhnall Gleeson as A.L. Mine, or however you pronounce his last name. His wife is going to be played by Margot Robbie, and it's just going to be one of those biopics. It's going to be like Finding Neverland in a way when it comes to that. It looks really sweet. It looks really... I think it's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to be a potential Oscar contender. I can see maybe some Oscar buzz for Domhnall Gleeson and Margot Robbie, both fantastic talents, and the kid playing Christopher Robin looks great. It looks like a heartfelt story. Growing up with Winnie the Pooh, I've always been interested to see how the story came to life. And from the trailer alone, it looks like it's going to hit your heartstrings, and it looks really great. And it's directed by Simon Curtis, who made My Week with Marilyn, which was fantastic. He also made that movie, I believe, The Woman in Gold with Helen Mirren from a few years back. And yeah, it looks really great. It's probably going to be one of those Oscar buzzy movies. I have no idea when it comes out. It's sometime later this year, but I think it's going to be really, really good.
Looks sad, heartfelt, very period accurate to when it was created. And yeah, looks good. Looks really good. I mean, it's a really short trailer. It's not really a long trailer. We don't get to see a lot of things. We just get a basic of, what time period's taking place in, and other stuff is cinematography, which looks great, and all that. So, definitely a very interesting movie. Hopefully it ends up being, like, say, Mr. Banks, stuff like that, where it's, like, really good and emotional,
Yeah. And the last trailer we're going to be talking about is for a movie called Happy Death Day. This is the newest Blumhouse production. So what happens is, and actually there's a brief way to describe this. This is Groundhog Day meets Before I Fall times horror, and that's it. It looks, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually pretty entertained. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this. Listen, it looks like it's going to be a really bad horror movie. I probably calling it right now, it's going to get like 28% of Rotten Tomatoes. It's going to get, bad reviews, going to make a hell amount of money at the box office. It's going to make its budget like most Blumhouse productions. But somehow, it looks like it's going to be somewhat of a guilty pleasure movie of sorts. Now, Before I Fall looked a lot similar because, it was, the girl getting killed that she kept living, being resurrected and everything. But that ended up actually being a really good movie. This could possibly end up being the same way, but who the hell knows? We don't even know exactly what's going to happen. But from this trailer alone, I was actually enjoying myself. I think it looks like a lot of fun. So I'm actually looking forward to this, and it comes out on Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th in October. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for this.
I always like movies like this because we don't get like a lot of them. We only have like a handful of these movies. Usually get one maybe once every year or two, I would say, with this. Looks fun. It looks fun and interesting, and I like it. I like, again, that they're taking the concept of, okay, I gotta find out who killed me now with this, which is interesting, and I wonder why this is happening exactly. But the I don't know, like you said, it does look cheap, but at the same time it does look good.
I wouldn't say it looks good. It just looks entertaining enough for me.
Well, for me it looks good.
Okay, I don't.
I don't get to see a lot of these movies. All right, I like the idea of a whole reliving back, over and over and over, because you do a lot of different things with it.
Okay.
And while, and like I said, while Flatliners just looks straight up horror, this one actually looks like to be funny more. A little bit, or try to be funny at least, so it's an interesting balance of tones.
I wouldn't say it looks funny.
But you know what I mean?
It just looks stupid, but in a good way.
Yeah. It's not straight up horror.
Yeah. Alright, that is it with the trailers. Now let's go to the Blu-ray releases, which I know both of them are going to be buys from Matt. One of them is going to be a buy, and one of them is going to be a rent. Let's start with the both buy, and as the Lego Batman movie. I thought this movie was fantastic. I thought it was just a ton of fun, great humor. As someone who's a big fan of the Lego movie and loved the coordination of Batman in that movie, it was great seeing him get his own spin-off movie. The movie was just really heartfelt, deep down, but it was also incredibly funny. A lot of great humor thrown at you. It's definitely one of the best comedies of the year thus far. It's also one of my favorite movies of the year so far. I would say this is a strong buy. And Matt, this was Matt's first A+ of the year, so Matt, obviously it's a buy for you.
Yeah.
Explain why, please.
Lego Batman is a very meta-heavy movie. There's, again, a lot of meta humor, especially on pop culture and Batman-related material as well. Still love the Wayne Manor scene with Alfred listing off every goddamn Batman, which is incredible. Rip Adam West, but it's a very good movie. It's very funny. I think we said sometimes a little too funny. But it's still a very, very good movie. All the acting is great. Will Arnett's great as Batman. Definitely one of the top Batmans. And yeah, it's just really fun to watch, and it's highly rewatchable. And it's got good meta humor.
And then the last one to come out this weekend also came out the same weekend as this movie, and that was John Wick Chapter 2. I really liked John Wick Chapter 2. I really liked the first one a lot. It was a big surprise for a lot of people. The second one was good. You know, it wasn't as good as the first for me personally. I really enjoyed it. I had some problems with it. I thought at some points it was a little questionable because there were some questioning aspects in the movie, like why was he all of a sudden like helping John Wick, then he was against John Wick, and then the ending was absolutely ridiculous. You know, it was absolutely ludicrous. But Keanu Reeves still kicked ass. I would say this is a strong rental. Matt, though, gave this an A, and I understand why Matt gave it an A. Matt, why would you say buy this movie?
I say, well, for people who haven't...
No, you gotta give your... Don't.
I'm gonna start for people who haven't seen John Wick, alright? Let me start there. Let me be specific. If you haven't seen John Wick 1, watch John Wick 1 first.
No, duh, Sherlock, because they're going to be lost. Oh, no.
Yeah, because they'll be lost. And also, kind of, they might not appreciate as much.
I hope you guys can hear.
But John Wick Chapter 2, the reason why I like it is because it expands the universe of the John Wick movies more. As in, it's bigger. It's more like you get better scope of what is the Continental and what's these other underground syndicates and stuff involved with the whole assassins stuff. And of course, you know, the villain, compared to Vigo's a stronger villain. Definitely, but it's still, Keanu Reeves is great. I love the ending of this movie because it's a great setup for the next John Wick movie. And honestly, everybody acted really well. And yeah, it was... Alright. Yeah, it was really good, honestly. I really can't complain other than that. I mean, the action isn't as mind-blowing as in the first movie because, you know, for the first time it was happening, but it's still great action. There's a great underground sequence in the movie, in the caves, in, I think it was Italy? Or in Rome, yeah, in Rome. And that was pretty good. So I would definitely say it's a buy, for me at least.
Alright, so now let's get to the movie reviews. We are going to be talking about, let's see, we're going to talk about Cars 3 first. Mm-hmm. Cars 3, you know, obviously the newest Pixar movie. Here's the deal, you know, Cars is a franchise that I'm personally not a hardcore fan of. When Pixar has their franchises, the only ones I'm really a fan of are Toy Story, and that's really it. I mean, I loved, you know, last year we had Finding Dory, which I thought was a huge surprise. I thought it was fantastic. And then next year we're getting The Incredibles 2, which I cannot wait for. I'm so excited that around this time next year we're going to have The Incredibles 2, which is going to be awesome. So Cars 3, you know, I wasn't really looking forward to it, but I was curious because of the way it was marketed. It was marketed like it was going to have a different spin on the franchise and also hopefully redeem itself from the shittiness that was Cars 2. Cars 2 to me is the only bad film that Pixar has ever made. Now, I have said in the past that I find Brave to be overrated, but it's not a bad movie. WALL-E to me is not an outstanding movie. I understand why everybody thinks it's like the greatest movie ever made. But it's a good movie. I don't think it's, you know, incredible or anything. Yeah, it's really it. Like, the first Cars is fine. I would say it's like a 3 out of 5, like, B- movie. Cars 3, though, looked interesting, and it looked like it was going to have the typical underdog story, similar to, like, a Rocky movie of sorts, where they were going to try to get themselves back on the map, because Lightning McQueen, as you guys may know, he got into an accident. He's starting to get old. Now he has to try to get himself back on the map and try to get himself back to the top again. And, you know, the movie, I was hopeful for the best. Like, I was hoping this movie wasn't terrible. And it did not look terrible either. But I was really hoping that it was going to be somewhat of a strong movie and a good movie in Pixar's catalog for sure. Matt, what were your expectations for Cars Part 3?
I mean, I do enjoy the first Cars movie, and it's been a long time since I watched it. And I completely skipped 2. So I was kind of going into being like, I don't know what happened in the last movie at all.
You're not missing much. Nothing happened.
Nothing.
All that movie was a spy movie with Mater. Ugh, gross.
With Larry the Cable Guy.
Ugh, kill me.
And so, I mean, it looked interesting because of, like I said, the way they marketed it. As in, it was trying to be this more adult Cars movie. And and stuff like that, because, it looked dark. From that first teaser trailer, I remember we were like, what the shit?
Yes.
It looked dark as all hell, and we're like, what? Are they gonna, go overboard with this? And then the other trailers came out, and it was like, no, it still looks like Cars. No, it still looks like Cars, but it looked, I guess, interesting, because it's kind of more like the first movie, again. So, whatever. I mean, we were like, alright, we're gonna see it, because it doesn't look horrible.
Well, first of all, Matt, I see every movie that comes out, especially when it's a big movie, and of course when it's a Pixar movie, because Pixar's my childhood, so, I gotta support my Pixar. So, Matt, what did you think of Cars 3?
It was good.
I'd say it was good.
Yeah, it was good.
It was okay for me. It wasn't really anything spectacular. It wasn't anything terrible either, thank God. It was definitely much better than Cars 2, but it wasn't on the same level as masterclass Pixar movies. And I think for a sequel, it's okay at best. And I do hope this is the last one, because when you watch the movie, it somewhat feels like a conclusion. But I swear to God, if they make a Cars 4, I will probably kill myself. Do not make a Cars 4 because you're making a Toy Story 4. That is stupid. Alright, so let's get nerdy, school you guys, to talk about Cars 3. So let's start with the direction. Now, when it comes to the storyline in the movie and the way the characters are fleshed out, I'm going to combine this directing and the writing of the movie. Like I said, the story is the typical underdog story. Lightning McQueen, he's starting to get old. He loses the momentum he once had, and now he has to try to get himself back on the map. So he gets this trainer named Cruz, and that part was kind of interesting. It added a lot more layers to the character of Lightning McQueen, because Lightning McQueen, all he does is the wow, ka-chow, wow. So there's not really much character added to him. In this movie, there is more character added to him, and I thought the movie, when it comes to its storyline, it was nice and cute and fluffy, typical Disney Pixar material. I wouldn't say there was anything unpredictable in the movie. The movie was very predictable, like most animated movies. So that's not really a fault to the people involved. I mean, I guess it is, because there have been some Pixar movies, some anime movies that were very unpredictable. Last year we had Kubo and the Two Strings. Didn't predict any of that at all, although I did see some things coming from a mile away. Finding Dory had some unpredictability to it. Obviously, like the Toy Story film, Toy Story 3 in particular. Zootopia was one. But in the end, Cars 3, I thought it was a finely directed movie. When it comes to the animation, though, the animation's outstanding, like it usually is with Pixar. There's no qualms with the animation. If you mock the animation with this movie, then there's something wrong with you, because I thought this was a really well animated movie. Great look to it, just excellent. But yeah, the storyline could have been a little better and a little less predictable. If it was unpredictable, I would have been very happy. But I get it that there's always going to be some predictable elements to movies. Like, I get that not every movie can be unpredictable, similar to a movie that we're going to talk about shortly. But yeah, in terms of its direction and story, I thought it was like the emoji. Meh.
I mean, direction-wise, as well directed, it wasn't slow or anything.
It was a little too long, though.
It is.
Too long. You can't... No anime movie should be almost 2 hours long. I'm sorry. This movie was almost 2 hours. No. 90 minutes!
And... Yeah, the big thing, the character of Lightning McQueen, the first movie, did have a little bit to him.
No, but he was just the same. He was like, wow, ka-chow.
Well, he was a hot shot in the first one, then he became
ka-chow,
more
a hot shot,
wow. He became a nice person by the end of that movie, and this one...
Wow. Wow.
It's more like this movie's becoming more like Doc in this movie, kind of. So...
Which is why a lot of people have been comparing this somewhat to the first Cars movie. Somewhat.
Kind of showing, hey, this is what happened to Doc, kind of, in between before Cars 1. So, it is cool, again, that they bring up Doc, and they use him very thoroughly, actually, in the storyline.
Yeah.
And I do like how it's kind of like, he's like being like, shit, I'm old, man. I'm old, dude.
Yeah.
So, I like how that, and then the whole, it kind of changes from, I'm trying to beat this to kind of, I might just, just retire movie, which is interesting. How he's kind of contemplating, oh, should I retire? Should I not retire?
Listen, guys, it's Rocky 3. That's
Rocky
what this
3.
movie is. Oh, wait a minute. Matt has seen Rocky 3.
It's like Rocky 3, but without Mr. T.
No shit. No, Mr. T is in Jackson Storm.
But he's not as...
No shit, Sherlock. No one can top Mr. T.
Pity the fool. I pity the fool.
Ow. When it comes to the animation, like I said, it's outstanding. It's so good looking, the movie. If I saw this in 3D, I wouldn't have mind. Well, first of all, I work at a movie theater, so seeing it for free would have been, I would have seen it for free. I wouldn't have said, like, oh, I wasted $10 extra on this. But like I said, in terms of its animation, it was really well done. I have to applaud the animators at Pixar for creating another gorgeous looking movie in their catalog.
I can't say one bad thing in any Pixar movie involving the animation, because it's always well animated no matter what movie.
Correctamundo.
It's still, this movie looks beautiful. It does. You got like the high detail of shine on the cars, as well as, the mouth movements and lip syncing as well as perfect. It's just, again, it's a really well animated film, which Pixar is great at that, and I can't wait to see it again, because, we're going to talk about this, but I can't wait to see what Coco is, because Coco looks fucking beautiful.
I need another original Pixar movie, please, because the last good one was Inside Out. Inside Out, it's, phenomenal. Then The Good Dinosaur was meh. Now, when it comes to the editing, like I said, the movie is very long. I think the movie should be cut down 10 to 15 minutes, because I always say this, no animated movie should be more than, I would say, at least 95 to 100 minutes. This movie was almost 2 hours long. I think it was at the 1 hour 50 mark, so that's 110 minutes. Should have been cut down. Should not have been long. There were a few moments that kind of boggled down the pacing of the movie, and I get it. They were like developing other characters, like introducing new characters, but in the end, I was just like, nah, like speed things up a little bit, please.
Yeah, they kind of cut down some of like the training and soul searching stuff, kind of what McQueen in the movie does for most of it. But it's I don't know. It wasn't like, when it boggles down, it's not slow. It's not like it's boring, but it definitely could be like, yeah, you could be just a little bit faster. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of what exactly could be cut out, because it would affect the storyline in some way, but I could definitely say, like, yeah, some of it could have been cut down, though. Or made a little bit, like, shorter, the segments of some parts. So that's fine. It was still, like, it wasn't, like, a horribly edited movie, but it's not, like, a great edited movie.
No shit. Dialogue. Okay, here's the deal. The first half of this movie tries to be something really, really raunchy. The jokes did not work for me at all. I really was not laughing at all during the movie, and Matt can tell you I really wasn't laughing. I might have chuckled like twice during the movie, but I wasn't really laughing. I didn't really find this movie to be that funny, personally. Like, I get it that every movie has to have heart. I saw Matt laughed a few times, which, like I said, this is all just our opinions and everything, and I respect Matt's opinion, most of the time, of course. But like I said, I just really didn't find anything to be that funny. I know you laughed a few times,
yeah,
but
I was thinking it was trying to be more of a serious movie, actually.
Nah, I found it was good. It was just a typical family movie with some heart in it and most comedy.
I don't know. I felt like it was trying to be
At times, there was like a point where there was no comedy for, like, I would say a good 5 to 10 minutes, which was good, which was very refreshing, of course. But
like I said, though, I think it was trying to be more serious. This movie. than
How do you say that? Oh, then previous what? Cars movies?
Well,
yes.
Previous Cars.
Yes,
yeah.
previous Cars movies. Yes.
Because there was like certain scenes, like really like heartfelt scenes. One scene with Cruz, I don't want to really talk about because spoilers, but that was a pretty like not funny scene. You know what I mean? Like it was a very serious scene, and it's like like this movie was trying to be very serious. I think more than comedic. I mean, obviously, the guy put the comedy in because you got kids.
Yes.
But I think if they didn't have to put the comedy in, I think honestly, I would be really interested. Honestly, what would have been like then?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, comedy's some kind of funny parts, but for most parts, the comedy.
And now when it comes to the voice acting, everyone does their part. Almost it's just like wow, wow, wow. And then the person that plays Cruz, she was good. Armie Hammer plays Jackson Storm. There's not much of him actually in this movie, which was kind of like a fault because they were like hyping him up. And yeah, obviously the main goal for Lightning McQueen in this movie is to be faster than him. But I don't know. Armie Hammer does have that voice that works for him. So I will say that was good casting, and obviously Mater was only in the movie for 5 scenes, so like that's a total of like 10 minutes, which was great because I guess a lot of people were complaining to Pixar that because he was like the headline of Cars 2, that they would put him back way far in this one than everyone else in terms of their voice acting. Good. There was no qualms with any of the voice actors in the movie. Everyone did good. Everyone was good.
Everyone was great, especially some of like the other doc stuff that they used for the movie as well, because it was like I don't remember how they did it, because I don't remember, was it lines from the first movie?
I think so.
Yeah, they're probably either unused or they were lines from the first movie and they kind of put it in, which was cool. And also that was pretty cool, so I liked all that stuff with Doc. I mean, I don't know, I didn't find like a lot of Owen Wilson's mannerisms for Lightning McQueen in this movie. He didn't really do it that much on like Cars 1.
Well, because he's older and he's different now. Yeah. And he's Matt. Mm-hmm. He's broken.
I know, but you know what I'm saying, though.
Yes, right? Like Sherlock.
He didn't do his typical mannerisms.
Yes, Sherlock.
So, it was still, I thought he was good. I thought everyone was good. Kind of wish there was more Jackson Storm in the storyline. Maybe instead of the comedy, you could throw more of him in, make it more personal, but other than that, though, like, it was pretty well acted. I bought that McQueen was broken. I bought that Ramirez was just really, or Cruz, I mean, same person, but that she was a very hard-ass trainer, or a very motivational trainer, if you want to say about that. And then I also bought that Jack Storm was a D-bag. So, yeah, it was well acted.
Mm-hmm. In the end, Cars 3 was just a okay installment in the Pixar world. Like, it was definitely vastly better than Cars 2, but it wasn't like on the levels of quality Pixar movies that we have received within the last 20 plus years since this company has been around, since 1995 when the first Toy Story came out. And a lot of people were saying that this movie was at times trying to be Toy Story 3. I wouldn't say that. I knew that at points the movie was trying to be on the levels of Toy Story 3, which is absolutely a fantastic movie. This one is just an okay movie in the end. And I will have to say, it's good for kids, obviously. It's for the kids. For the kids. George Lucas for the kids. It's a fine movie. You could watch it. You won't, like, get bored by it or anything. But in the end, it's just an average kids movie, and I mean that's a dumb thing to say, but it is just a kids movie. But I'm sure that there were some things that everyone all ages can enjoy. I mean, there were some things that I admired about the story and everything. So I have to say the movie was not as bad as I thought it would be, but it certainly wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be.
I would say it's a good movie that I guess even adults can, because the whole concept of getting older and not being the same anymore, how it's just a full circle.
Yes.
With the first Cars
Correct,
movie.
Correctamundo.
So, I would say like that's definitely at least worth it if you like cars. But for the most part, yeah, it's just a good movie.
Grade?
Probably a B-.
I'm gonna go C with this one. It had its moments for sure, Like, there were moments that I thought were actually really well done. Like, but in the end, it's just an okay movie, and, you know, it's not the worst thing I've seen. I wish it was unpredictable, like the movie that we're going to be talking about now, which is called The Book of Henry. First and foremost, no spoilers. People were like, no spoilers? Like, is this really that big of a deal? It is actually a very big deal. Believe me, I did that. Okay.
I know I'm not an advocate for this because you'll fucking kill me as soon as I say this, but you should probably watch this movie blind. Just watch it blind.
Yeah, we said that when we reviewed the trailers, because the trailers kind of looked like they gave stuff away. However, I watched the trailer afterwards, after the movie, and I'm like, yeah, this trailer didn't give anything away at all. So, you know, we gotta commend the people behind the marketing team and everything. So, yeah. The Book of Henry, this is the newest film from Colin Trevorrow. You know, this is the same guy who brought us Safety Not Guaranteed, Jurassic World, and he is helmet Star Wars Episode 9. So this guy's a pretty big deal right now. He brought back the Jurassic Park franchise, and now he's going to be directing the final film in the new Star Wars trilogy. I was really excited for The Book of Henry. I'm always a fan whenever someone who tackles a blockbuster goes back to their realms by doing an indie, or whenever someone who does mainstream films directs something smaller scaled. The trailer was fantastic. It looked like it was going to be a really cool family drama, but having some mysterious elements to it that wasn't expected. Because I'll tell you this, when I saw the trailer, I knew about this movie before the trailer was coming out because, you know, of Colin Trevorrow and the cast and everything. And I was like, oh, this sounds like a typical family drama. Then that trailer comes out, and it's not that at all. It's like kind of terrifying and mysterious and everything, and it looked really cool. I have to say that, Naomi Watts is one of my favorites in Hollywood. She is in my top, 3 favorite actresses. I love her so much. So, right off the bat, I was excited to see her in something. Jacob Tremblay, obviously seen him in something after Room because he was so great in Room. And, you know, he has Wonder coming out later this year, which looks really good. And Jay Leinheimer, he was really good. We'll talk about him later on. But, you know, he's a young talent that I've been wanting to see more from since his debut a few years ago. And in the end, I was really looking forward to this movie. Matt, what were your expectations for The Book of Henry?
It was, yeah, that trailer, man. I don't want to talk about that trailer for people who haven't seen it because we want you, go into this blind. But that trailer just makes you, honestly, anyone who watched it would probably be interested in watching this movie.
Also, because when you find out it's from the guy that's helming, the next Star Wars movie, not The Last Jedi, the movie that's coming out after that.
I would say it's more like this guy directed Jurassic World.
But, Star Wars is,
everyone will be like, oh, he did Jurassic World. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it was, I don't know, that trailer was really good. I was excited because the cast was great. So you got Naomi Watts, you had Jacob Tremblay, and then you had the other kid. I can't say his name.
Jaden Leheimer.
Yeah, Jaden Leheimer.
And of course, and then of course Hank Schrader himself, Dean Norris.
And also, other people.
Yeah, other people, but those were Naomi Watts was definitely the big one because she's the lead of the movie,
and it looked good for the trailers.
Yeah. So this movie has been getting critically bashed by a lot of people. Like, in terms of its professional critics, a lot of people have been bashing the movie for one thing only, and that's the tone. Because at one point, the first half of the movie is what you kind of expect, and then the second half, the tone changes drastically changes to the point where you're just like, what is happening? Who's this movie for, or whatnot? I'll be honest with you, I'll say this, I don't think the movie's terrible by any means. I don't think this movie deserves a 28%. This movie has a lower grade than fucking Resident Evil. I mean, what the... Did you guys not see Resident Evil or 50 Shades Darker? Or... Oh, actually, no. It has a higher grade than Baywatch, so that's good. That's good enough for me. But in all seriousness, I don't think this movie's terrible. I don't think it was great either. There were things about it that I thought were fantastic. But I thought it was just a... How do I say this? I thought it was a fine movie. It had its moments for sure. The first half of this movie I thought was incredible. The second half, though, kind of changed my opinion a lot. I'm going to say this right now. I really did not hate this movie, but I was kind of disappointed with it. There were some moments where I was like, that's awesome, that's great, but there were other moments where I'm like, you could have done better with that. You know, Colin Trevorrow, you have talent in you. You could have done better with that. So in the end, I'm going to say the movie was alright.
I don't know, as a guy who fucking loves Swiss Army Man, I fucking love this movie. I love ballsy shit, alright?
I'm not saying I don't love ballsy
that's me,
shit.
Though. That's me.
I was just kind of I was let down by it because I just thought it didn't. Like the second half, the tone was all over the place. The first half had that consistent tone. The second half was all over the place. I don't mind ballsy stuff. I love when movies go bonkers and everything. I love it. I love when movies take risks and do something, do things unpredictable. But unfortunately, this movie, I just thought it was just all right. I don't think it was terrible. Mm-hmm. I just thought it was kind of all right. So, let's get nerdy, school you guys to talk about The Book of Henry. So, let's start with the direction. Now, like I said, Colin Trevorrow is no stranger to the indie realm. The first half of this movie, I thought was absolutely phenomenal. I love the drama in the first half. I love the way the characters are written. I love the performances and everything. I thought it was a really smart drama in the beginning. Like, very heartfelt, very unpredictable. And when the first half wraps up, without spoiling anything, it went down a direction that I haven't seen in a movie in, I think, ever. I mean, there have been movies that have taken that route. I mean, it's really hard to talk about without saying it. I want to talk about it so badly, but I can't because, I mean, it's a small movie and probably not a lot of people are going to see this to begin with, but it's just crazy how it all went down. The second half, like I said, I thought the movie overall was well directed when it came to like its acting and everything and characters. But when it came to its story, it was just a little weird for me. Like just a little like, I don't know how I feel. I still don't really know how I feel about the movie personally. So I would say in terms of its direction, I thought it was good direction. Not incredible, but not terrible either, like a lot of critics have been saying.
Yeah, I mean, he directs all the actors well. Colin Trevorrow does a great job with that. They're all believable. It's all believable.
Yeah, but we'll get to more of that when we talk about the acting.
But I gotta mention that because it's a director's job. Do that, and he did a great job with that.
No shit.
Mm-hmm. The first half was, I'll agree, it's fucking amazing. The way it ends is, it's very realistic. It's shocking because it's one of those ballsy things that they do in this movie. And it's like, oh, damn. Like, fuck. It's like that type of reaction. And not even the trailers, you would get no hint that this would happen.
Of course not.
That first half was great. The second half, well, I agree, it's not as strong. I still think it's a strong second half. I'll agree with some things. It does get a little absurd at times, but it does make sense why it would be this absurd. And as well as I guess it loses a little bit of steam. And again, mainly it's probably just because the absence of a certain character, but it's still I still think it's a great second half. It's just not as good as the first half of the movie.
Now, when it comes to its acting, we're going to jump right into the acting. Everybody is terrific. Everyone gives their A game. Naomi Watts is always good. She's always shining in the movies. She is very good in the first half of the movie. Even though, like I said, the second half isn't as strong as the first, she is marvelous in the second act in the movie. She is... second half, excuse me. She is so great. She's honestly great throughout the whole movie. I've always liked her as an actress, and she really does have that mother role to her. She's always good, and she was really great in this movie.
Well, she plays like a different kind of mother than she usually would play.
Yeah, well, A, she's a single mom, that's the first thing, and B, the way her character transitions throughout the whole movie, it's quite fascinating, and I don't think anyone else could have... I mean, it's a role that anyone could have played, but Naomi Watts just captures that mom vibe.
I find it funny with her, like, mom, because I'm like, wow, that'd be a cool mom if I had that. It's because she does some weird, like, things that young kids would do, and it's like, alright.
Okay, alright, we'll
we don't want to talk about it, but If you see the movie, you'll understand.
They're just saying that because you're a fanboy of what it was.
No. I just find that funny. I was like...
No, it was pretty unexpected to see someone like Naomi Watts doing that.
Yeah, but...
My mom wouldn't have done what Naomi Watts' character did in the movie.
Yeah. But it was... I thought she was great. Like, the first half, she was more like... Like, she was there, but she's more in the background. But the second half, it was all her. Really. And that was a really... I guess a cool transition, I guess you could say. From the beginning to the end.
Yes.
So that was really cool, and especially some of the things she has to do near the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mr. Jane Lindheimer, he plays our titular character. He was really great in St. Vincent from a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked him a lot in that movie. He had really great chemistry with Bill Murray. Also, Naomi Watts was in that movie.
As a prostitute.
I honestly just remember that now.
What if it's her other son? Oh God.
Oh Jesus. And he was good in Midnight Special from last year, directed by Jeff Nichols. He was phenomenal in this movie. He was really great here. He's going to be the main kid in It, coming out later this year, which we both are so excited for. Mm-hmm. And he was really spectacular in the movie. A lot of child actors nowadays are starting to really shine. This kid is going to go places. After St. Vincent, I knew this kid was going to be high up on a lot of people's radar. Then he really was great here. Obviously, I'm really stoked to see what he's going to do in It, but he was really phenomenal here. A lot of great emotion, a lot of great layers to him. He was absolutely brilliant in this movie.
I would say all three are like the stands of this movie, but he was high up there. He was great, man. Like he was. Because I saw St. Vincent. I forgot that he was in St. Vincent, and he was great in St. Vincent. But he was so good in this movie, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of weird because I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's really cool what they do with him in the second half. And I'm like, it's pretty cool how it sounds like this, but it's... Again, I don't want to... He was great, though, because he's playing, like, this fucking boy genius. Like, not even Jimmy Neutron. Like, he's playing Albert Einstein genius type guy.
Yeah.
And it's fucking great.
Yeah.
He's only 12 years old. And I just love that.
Yeah. Jacob Tremblay, once again, is terrific here. Once
totally
again,
not recognizable either.
Room, he shot, like, 4 years ago. This one, he was very good as the little brother. There was a great scene with him towards the end of the movie where he was talking to Naomi Watts. Since Henry is the smarter kid, he made a scene. He's like this. Oh, do you love him more than me or anything? And I thought that was a really heartfelt sequence. He was really he's just so he's an adorable kid. He's a great young talent. I'm so excited to continue to see where this kid goes. I really loved him in Room, and I really liked him a lot here. And he's going to be in the Predator movie. I just think this kid is out of this world brilliant.
He was great as soon as his character transitions differently into the movie, because he begins this very like scrawny, this very like kid that gets beaten up.
Yeah.
And kind of looked down upon, but then by the end he changes completely, and he grows up, and it's like shit.
Yeah.
Like he's great in the movie as well. Like all three the core like actors are great in the movie together.
Yeah, and the supporting cast also is very strong. Maddie Ziegler, she plays the girl next door. This is her feature film debut. She is a dancer. She was on Dance Moms. I told this to Matt. She was on Dance Moms. She was the little girl that danced in the Chandelier music video by Sia. I thought she was really great. I really liked her a lot. There wasn't much dialogue with her character, but she was really like vulnerable in the movie, and you felt bad for her character. Yeah, I thought for her feature film debut, she really did good.
Yeah, she was. I bought her for what type of character she was playing. She's very quiet and very like one note, which honestly would make
one note, not in a bad way.
Well, one note. I mean, like saying simple. Like she's very like saying simple words. But the way she says it and like her emotion that she gives from like the looks on her face.
Yes.
Obviously, she's like totally believable as that type of person.
Yes.
Again, I don't want to go into what the hell is going on with her.
Correct.
But she is. I bought her as this kid who's having issues.
Yep, exactly. And Dean Norris, he plays the father of this girl, stepfather, excuse me. He, at times he was very cartoony, but since I have this huge love for the guy because he will always be Hank Schrader to me, he was good for the material he was given. There were times where I was laughing at his execution and his line delivery, but I thought it was just fun seeing him in this movie.
I know, I thought he was good and fun. I thought he was like, here's the thing, like, I guess, like, I don't think he was that over the top, honestly.
I didn't say he was that over the top. I said at times the way he delivered his lines was a little, silly. But I mean, it's Dean Norris, so it's acceptable.
Near the end,
because if any of you guys ever watched Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, he appears in an episode where he trains Titus to be straight or act straight, because Titus, for everyone who knows, is the gay roommate of the main character Kimmy. And it was really great just because he was like playing Hank but playing himself at the same time. It was just really funny. I would show you that clip. I could show it to you later, but it was so funny. But yes, continue please.
But he was playing it very subtle. Because throughout the movie, I'm like, I don't think he's like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then by the end, it's like, oh, he is.
Yeah.
But like for most of the thing, he's very subtle. I don't know, at least for me.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a lot of screen time in the movie, but a decent amount, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought he was really good.
Yeah. When it comes to the movie's editing, I would say it does have kind of a slow burn to it, which at times worked, but at times it didn't. I thought at times the movie was, like I said, the first half it worked, the second half it didn't so much. It escalated, the pacing escalated into a faster pace, during the second half. So I would say the editing was a little choppy. And like I said, this will go into the screenplay, which we'll talk about in just a second, when it comes to the inconsistent tone that happens during the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
But in terms of its editing, it was kind of like average editing, nothing spectacular or anything. But like I said, in the first half of the movie, it really shines. And I have to keep praising the first half. The first half really is fantastic. It's outstanding, the first half. So
I think it's the way they build it. The first half is more like just spending time with these characters. You're like, oh, I like all these characters. And then the second half happens, and they got to tie up this one storyline. It's like, it felt like, well, again, like you said, like, I mean, I think I said this too. It felt like they had to tie up a loose end after that first half ended.
Yeah.
Sort of like, shit. You know what I mean? How are we going to end this in the best way possible?
It felt like they had, when we get to the screenplay, like, we'll just talk more about it, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, like, it felt like, hey, we need to wrap this up, even though this is one of our main parts of the movie.
Correct.
So it was, well, they did a good job at it. It still wasn't like...
Yeah, I guess. For cinematography, good looking, nothing, spectacular or anything, but it was a nice looking movie, very clean,
well
very
shot.
indie looking, so,
very well shot, nice, slow, like, cinematography style. And the scenery was nice, like the woods and all that. So.
Now, when it comes to the screenplay, this is where everyone's problems lie with. When you read reviews or watch reviews, it has to do with the screenplay, and I have to agree. The screenplay is the biggest problem. The dialogue, I wouldn't say, is terrible. I don't think it has anything to do with the dialogue. The problem is the tone really does change. And when you watch the movie and the second half begins, you question Trevorrow and the decisions, and you're just like, is this the kind of movie they wanted to do? Are they sure that they had the right tone in mind? Because the tone is all over the place when the second half begins, and it makes the movie just feel like it wasn't what it was supposed to be. Like I said, the first half, the writer felt like he had a definitive idea of how he wanted to tell the story, but then the second half began, and it just didn't really work for me entirely. Like, I was still like, oh, what's going to happen here or whatnot, but I wasn't, like, in love with it like I was with the first half, which makes me sad, because
phone.
I was
Sorry.
I
wish I could mute this. I hate my phone. I hate that I have to have it in here, but I need it in here.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You do need it.
Sure, there's a way I can mute it.
Anyways, I just thought that when it came to the screenplay, it was just very choppy. It was very all over the place and very incohesive, and it just made me shake my head a bit. Internally, not physically.
Like
Talk about the dialogue first,
No.
then just
well,
the
dialogue's all
storytelling.
great. I don't have a problem with the dialogue at all. What I'm thinking of is the, you see, they introduce the main storyline in the first, half. And they kind of like mention it every now and again. But then the end of the first half happens, and I think they were like, well, shit, we have to tie this up because we can't just leave the movie like this. So that's where I feel like the second half happened. So it's kind of like they were making two separate movies at the same time. And there are some things that worked about it. It made it really, cool and risky and interesting. They would do something like that because it made it more original. How it transitioned from this to that. And especially how it escalates to that, honestly. But there were, there were some issues with it. As in, I wasn't totally invested in it. I mean, later on into it, I was a little bit more invested, when it actually got to the payoff of it. But building up, I wasn't totally invested in well, maybe until a certain scene where I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's how they're gonna do that. With involving Henry's character and all that. So it was I don't know. Again, it's kind of weird. Like, I do like the second half, but I don't like it as much the first half.
So basically, in the end, the Book of Henry was a interesting movie for sure. A lot of unexpected twists and turns, great performances, pretty solid direction. But because of the incohesive tone in the screenplay, the Book of Henry to me just wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. It wasn't terrible, but it was kind of disappointing and very lackluster for me.
I mean, I did find it interesting that the screenwriter is actually this is his first movie I think he ever written.
Huh.
And he is he's a New York Times best-selling author. So that was interesting about that, but I thought it was so I liked the movie a lot. It was even though it's supposed to be depressing, it's entertaining. Especially the first half of the movie. And then the second half just completely changes, and it's interesting still, but not as much as the first half. But overall, I still think it's a really good movie.
All right, Matt, give your grade.
I'm gonna give it a B+.
I'm going same grade as Cars. I'm going C. Actually, no, I'll give it a C+. I'll go C+ with this one. I just actually no, I hate to do. Okay, C. That's my final grade. A C for Book of Henry. Like I said, wasn't terrible, wasn't great. I understand why you enjoyed it. I totally get that. I can totally see where people can get enjoyment out of it. But I thought the movie was solid. I think it is a watchable movie. There are many questions that you can ask, but I thought it was a pretty risky movie, a balls to the wall movie. I was impressed with that, but I wish that it made the second half, was still on the same levels as the first one.
I mean, I guess that will come down to people's opinion on is more the second half. Again,
exactly.
Again, for maybe
when the end of the first half happens, your whole opinion's going to change from there.
For the third time in the last 2 months, the same thing. It's going to depend on the ending, basically.
Pretty much, yes.
Too many movies like that so far.
Yep.
In the last month or two.
Yep. So now we are going to get to the box office results, which I have not looked at as we speak. I have an idea of what's number one, but I haven't looked. So I'm going to tell Matt what came out this weekend. Okay, so Matt, the wide releases this week were Cars 3, Rough Night, All Eyes on Me, 47 Years Down, and The Book of Henry. I think The Book of Henry was the more indie release of this week.
Yeah, so I don't think it makes that much based on
last week, Wonder Woman was number one.
Yeah.
It Comes at Night did not make the top 5. The Mummy was in the top 5.
4, right?
Just don't look or anything. Just think. Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, but Pirates probably be gone now. The top 5.
Yes.
And Captain Underpants is in the top 5 as well, I remember.
I'll tell you this right now. Okay, Rough Night came in at number 7 with $8 million. The budget is $20 million, so it's not really that expensive. So right now it has a worldwide total of, if it would load, that would be very nice, $12 million. Book of Henry came in at 13th place with $1.4 million, which is understandable for an indie. Its budget is only $10 million, so we'll see. So Matt, what is the top 5 for this week?
At number 5. I mean, how did All Eyes on Me do?
I ain't telling you, that's cheating. You know, a lot of people our age love hip hop.
They do, though.
So,
but I don't know how many people know about the movie.
People know.
Because it wasn't like highly marketed on TV.
No, but people know because they all go on to Twitter.
Oh,
that face was just... I know you guys can't see because it's audio, but Matt made a funny face like he looked like he was taking a piss. So it's kind of odd.
I'll say at number 5, probably The Mummy.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4, probably All Eyes on Me.
Okay, number 3.
Number 3 is probably Captain Underpants.
Number 2.
Cars 3.
And number 1.
Wonder Woman.
You are 0 out of 5.
You kidding me? Fucking Wonder Woman packed as shit and Cars 3 was fine. Hey.
Number 5, 47 meters down with $11.5 million.
So a shark movie actually made.
Like I said, there were 5 movies that came out this week, man. And I said the 2 of them that didn't make the top 5, so you had an idea, but you failed. 47 meters down with $11.5 million. People love shark movies and horror movies and everything.
I never watched his review. How was it? About how?
Who's his?
Who do you mean by?
Yeah, who do you mean by his?
Good old man. I don't want to mention.
Oh, Stuckface.
Yes.
I ain't telling you. Just wait until you see the movie for yourself if you see it. The budget is not listed here, so right now the total worldwide is 11.5. Number 4, The Mummy with $13.9 million. The budget is $125 million, domestically $56 and worldwide $295. So whatever. Number 3 is a really big shocker. All Eyes on Me with $27 million, but a lot of people went to go see it. The budget is not listed, so the domestic or worldwide total is $27 million. Number 2, Wonder Woman with $40.7 million. The budget is $149, domestically $274, and worldwide $571. Good job for that. And number 1, Cars 3 with $53.5 million. It makes sense because kids movies, and they're usually always the top grossing films.
But I'm just shocked because fucking it was packed as shit in multiple theaters. Wonder Woman still.
But everyone's already seen it. It's
probably because they have more show times for Cars. Yeah,
probably. The budget is not listed here, so the domestic total is $53.5 and worldwide $74.8. So I guess that's pretty good. Alright guys, on next week's episode of Nerdy Scores a Film Podcast, episode 77, we are going to be reviewing Transformers The Last Night.
The first night... Oh wait, you're right. If for all we know, they might make more after this. We fucking don't know anymore.
Why would you say that? You're gonna jinx it. Of course they're making more. Of course they're making more.
I mean, we did talk about Bumblebee last week. Oh, I spit up a can of oil. Whatever. I should be our new outro.
I thought you were supposed to scream, damn it.
Ah! What, did I spit up fucking motor oil? Fine.
Alright guys, so yeah, that's the end of this episode of Nerdy Scores a Film Podcast. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know your thoughts on Cars 3, The Book of Henry, and all the Blu-rays, trailers, movie news, all that stuff. Really, guys, we really do appreciate it. We'll see you guys next week for episode 77. If you guys want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Film Junkie Bryan. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Share this episode and share the entire show with all your friends and whatever.
Like I do.
Happy Father's Day once again to all the fathers out there. We really do appreciate your dedication and everything. But yeah, guys, really thank you so much for listening to this episode of Nerdy Scores of Film Podcast, and we'll see you guys next week for episode 77.
Bye-bye!
Nerdy Scores of Film Podcast.